Okay, now we look at the counter current system, loop of Henle, Medla, and all the structures. So we'll start with the loop of Henle. Now, as we have discussed earlier, loop of Henle is present in medulla. Okay, it is in medulla. Now, medulla has what thing? It is a very high osmolarity. So, medulla has a very high osmolarity. Now, what do you mean by term osmolarity? Let's see that first. As we all know, osmolarity is a indicator of how much water any kind of solution which contains some solutes can pull. So, osmolarity is defined as moles of solute which are osmotically active, moles of solute per liter of solvent. It's called as the osmolarity. Okay, and just for your clarity, remember this another term which might be asked in your exam, and that is called as osmolality. Osmolality, that is moles per kg of solvent. So the moment they say word kg, it become osmolality. So remember, kilogram, kilo is lality, kilogram, and if it's liter, r is that osmolarity. So clear? So this is kilograms of solvent. What is the benefit? It is not affected by temperature, because temperature can change the density and the volumes, but no effect of temperature on osmolarity, because the mass remain the same. So no effect of temperature, unlike osmolarity value. So what is the preferred value? In case the temperature is changing, we prefer osmolality compared to osmolarity. Okay. Now let's see the concept of the osmolarity first. How do you calculate? Let's say I add 1 mole sodium, that is 23 grams. So we know 1 mole of sodium is approximately 23 grams, okay, in 1 liter water. So if I add 1 mole sodium in 1 liter of water, we get a solution of 1 molar or 1 osmolar. Okay, so 1 molar or 1 osmolar solution. We can write it as also what things? As 1 osmol per liter or 1000 milli osmol per liter. So we can write it as either 1 osmol per liter or 1000 milli osmoles per liters. Okay, short form m osmol. So short form is m osmol. Now the things change if you take something else. Let's example, if I take 1 mole NaCl, that is approximately 58.5 grams. Why? Because 23 sodium and 35.5 is chloride. So that's why it gives roughly 58.5. So if I add 1 mole NaCl in 1 liter, I get now 2 moles. I get 1 mole sodium plus 1 mole chloride. So total of 2 moles. Total of 2 moles per liter or 2000 milli osmol per liter. So remember this statement that if you take what? If you take this, you get 2000 milli osmoles per liter. Okay, 2000. Now let's start. What is the value of plasma osmolarities, right? Plasma osmolarity is around 280, because plasma contains salts. So 285 to 295 milli osmol per liter is the value of what? Plasma's osmolarity. 285 to 295 milli osmoles per liter. Roughly we take 300. That's a rough value. Okay. Now how do you calculate this? The answer is simple. Any solution which contains salts will give osmolarity. Now you have to calculate how many salts are there in the plasma. Let's say sodium, chloride, etc. So first is calculation. We know very well that sodium and other cation anions are equal in terms of total charge. So cations are equal to anions. are equal to anions, perfectly balanced. So cations are equal to anions. So if I say twice cations, that is equal to cations plus anions. That is equal to cations plus or total ions. So that's why one easy way to know total ions is what? Just double the cations and you get total ions. So let's see formula for plasma osmolarity. It is twice sodium. Why? Because if you calculate sodium, which is a very effective osmol, what you can do? You can double it to get chloride and bicarb, etc. Then we add blood glucose. But one issue, if blood glucose is already in millimoles, no problem. But if it is milligram, divide by 18, right? If milligram percent, then divide by 18. Otherwise, it's fine, okay? So, if milligram percent, divide by 18. Plus blood urea nitrogen, blood urea, again same. If milligram percent, divide by 2.8. Don't forget this rule. You have to divide by, yes, 18 for glucose and 2.8, okay? And one more thing, urea is ineffective osmol. Why? Because osmotic particle should stay on one side of membrane and pull the water. It should not move. Urea can move. So that's why it's not an effective, it's an ineffective osmol. Okay? Why? It cross membrane, and that make it ineffective. Only water should cross across the semi-permeable membrane, not the solutes. If something cross, it is ineffective. So why is it an ineffective solute? Because it crossed the membrane. Clear? So cross membrane, ineffective. What never cross? Sodium, glucose, they don't cross, they stay on one side more and causing a osmotic effect. Okay? Right. Next is, let me give an example. Let's say sodium is how much? 140 milli equivalent per liter. Glucose is, let's say, 90 milligram percent, and let's say urea is 28 milligram percent. I'm giving milligram percent. So let's calculate the osmolarity. Okay. So if it is 140 multiplied by 2, it gives what? 280. This we divide by 18 to get what? Yes, around 5. This by 2.8, that will give you 10. So add them all, 295 milli osmol per liter. So multiply this milli. So that's how you calculate any kind of osmolarity. You add them and get the value. Okay. Now what is the osmolarity of plasma? We know this. Now any solution with osmolarity same as plasma is isotonic. Example, NS, that is normal saline. So what is NS? It is normal saline. So NS is normal saline. Okay, that is NS. Okay, and it is made by what? 0.9% NaCl solution. That means you have to add 0.9 gram salt in 100 ml of water. You get 0.9% NaCl. Then we have RL, that is ringer lactate. Very favorite fluid in burn patients, ringer lactate. Okay. And also we can use what? 5% dextrose. But one thing, 5% dextrose is iso in the beginning, but as there is a metabolism of sugars, as glucose, post it become hypotonic. So it can become hypotonic once there is a metabolism of sugar. Okay. Now we see what is the medulla's osmolarity and what are the effects, right? Medulla osmolarity is 1200 milliosmol per liter. It's 1200. That means it is hypertonic. How much? 4 times more than plasma. 4x plasma osmolality. So 4x plasma osmolality. Okay. Now you know water is absorbed by what process? Osmosis. So right, water is reabsorbed by osmosis from low salt area, that is low osmolarity, to high osmolarity. So where is water going to move? So obviously water will move from an area with low salt to an area with high salt. So that is the direction of what flow? Water flow, low salt to high salt. Okay. Now that is why what happens? Medulla is hypertonic. As the nephron loop of Henle CD passes through medulla, the high osmolarity will pull the water, making urine concentrated hypertonic. So that is why what happens? So when urine passes through medulla, where? In loop of Henle and collecting duct. Remember, loop of Henle and CD. But one thing, CD need ADH. That's the question. CD depends on ADH also. So if you have loop of Henle and the CD which need the ADH, water will be reabsorbed. Water will be reabsorbed, forming low volume, concentrated and hypertonic urine. That means you are able to conserve water and save it by doing what? By absorbing the water. So we get a low volume, concentrated and hypertonic urine. How much? As much as medulla, 1200. That means now you have a magnet for osmolarity. What is the name of the magnet? Medulla is the magnet. It can pull the water, making urine concentrated. Which area? Loop of Henle and CD. But CD require ADH. Example, if available ADH, it will absorb the water, making concentrated urine. If no ADH, dilute. I will discuss it later, but right now ADH is required in CD but not loop of Henle. So now based on this we can make a statement. Longer the loop of Henle, deeper it will go to medulla. It can go to which area? It will go to the, yes, the deepest layer of medulla, that is the inner medulla, and cause very concentrated urine. So that's why longer the loop of Henle, more is urine concentrating ability. So urine concentrating ability depends on what? It depends on the length of the loop of Henle and also the osmolarity of medulla. So I'll discuss them all later, but right now longer the loop, more is the concentration ability. Okay. Now, so that is why we divide nephrons into two categories. So what are the two category of nephrons? So let me show them. So let's see. One are cortical, which are mainly near the cortex, and they have very short loop of Henle, and juxtamedullary. They are near medulla. So name itself, juxta means near medulla. Juxtamedullary. So two nephrons, cortical and juxtamedullary. Okay. Cortical are 85 to 90%. Juxta are just 10 to 15%. So that's why bulk of the nephrons are near the cortex. Okay. Then cortical have everything max. They have maximum blood flow. So I will make it a simple table rather than making max, low, low, max, simple. Max blood flow, ATP and oxygen consumption, and also maximum transport, secretion, reabsorption, etc. So everything who wins, the PCT will, cortical nephrons will win in terms of all. Their PCT is super active, it absorbs the water, absorbs the glucose, also do acid secretion, everything is max in where? Cortical nephron. One thing where they are defeated by this is the length. They have short loop of Henle, whereas they have long loops. Okay. So short loop and the long loop of Henle. So short loops are where? Short loops are in the cortical nephron, long are where? In the juxtamedullary. medullary are very, very long. Okay, so that's why what they do normal urine formation, and these one do concentrated urine formation. Okay, so for normal urine, which one are there? Cortical. And for concentrated, what do we have? We have the juxtamedullary nephrons. Okay, now we'll see the function. So make this diagram and see with me. Let's say this is the PCT. Okay, this is PCT, this is DCT, CD we'll see later, cortex, medulla. Okay, so let's have a look at this diagram. Okay, so first we have PCT, DCT. CD I'll not show, we'll see CD when the ADH is also discussed. Okay, now first is cortex is isotonic, so 300 milliosmol per liter. We know this very well. Cortex is isotonic, cortex. Medulla is hyper, so 400, 800, 12. So what is the osmolality of medulla? It is very high, approximately 1200 is the value. Okay. Now these are what parts? Descending loop of Henle, because the urine is flowing downward. This is thick and thin, ascending loop. Okay, so these are the thick and thin ascending loop. So we have the ascending where you're going up, descending where you're going down with your urine formation. Okay, now comes the question. First is what PCT receive? PCT get hypotonic urine or isotonic, iso from the plasma. So it get isotonic urine from the plasma, isotonic. Okay, and what do you absorb here? Sodium or what? Also the solutes, let's say water. So what is absorbed? Sodium, water, chloride, also chloride. They are absorbed in equal quantity, 300. So that's why it remains 300. So that is why what is the urine in PCT? Isotonic urine, because everything is absorbed in equal quantity and is getting the plasma filtered. So same. Okay. Now let's start the discussion. First is descending loop. Remember, descending drink water. Remember the formula? Descending drink water. Very simple logic. So it is what permeable? Water permeable. Drink water permeable. So it is water permeable. So descending is water permeable. So obviously water is reabsorbed. So what get reabsorbed here? Water gets reabsorbed. Okay, and as water get reabsorbed, the change is obvious. It is 300, outside is 4. So water moves out. Now it becomes 400, but outside is 8. Again the water goes out. Now it is 800, but water still goes out to the 12. It becomes ultimately 12. That is concentrated urine. So ultimately the osmolarity will become very, very high, as high as 1200 value. Okay, so that's why we have made what urine? Concentrated urine in the descending loop of Henle. So that is why hypertonic urine is formed. So what kind of urine do you see in the descending loop? We get a concentrated hypertonic urine, as much as 1200 milliosmol per liter, and you get this at tip of the loop of Henle. So where is the most concentrated urine present? Tip of the loop of Henle. Okay, at the inner medulla. Okay, now that is why it is also called as the concentrating segment. So what is the other name? Concent. Ask in recent exam, DNB, concentrating segment. So it's called as the concentrating segment. Okay. Now everything is going fine, but one problem. What is that? This water, as it start entering the medulla, it might dilute the medulla osmolarity. So that is why you have to take this water out of the medulla, so that medulla is preserved at 1200 and allow water to be reabsorbed again in the future. So that is why this water should be removed. So write down below, the water coming from descending loop can dilute medullary osmolarity, can dilute. So we need someone to remove. So ascending vasa recta, which is just next, completely around this. So ascending vasa recta, which is very close to descending loop. So ascending vasa recta will take this water out of medulla into systemic circulation. Will take this water out of medulla and maintain medullary osmolarity. Okay, so that is how the medulla will be maintained at what value? 1200. So what is the descending doing? Giving the water. And who take this water continuously out? It is the ascending vasa recta into systemic circulation. That is why the osmolarity is never disturbed. Okay, and let me show it also. See, I'm just making it here, this one. Let's say this is what thing? This is ascending vasa recta. So this is ascending. Okay, so what happens? Whatever water is there, so I'll just write down. This is ascending vasa recta. So take this water and goes up toward the systemic circulation. So that's why this water will go to the systemic circulation, the veins, ultimately the renal vein, and ultimately goes back to the blood supply. That's why water will not accumulate in medulla thanks to ascending vasa recta picking water from descending loop of Henle. That's what's called as counter current. One is going down, the urine is going down, but the blood in vasa recta is going up, counter current. Okay. Now let's come to the ascending loop. Ascending loop, remember, 8 salts. So it's what permeable? Solute permeable. So descending, drink the water. Ascending, eat the salt. Ascending, eat the salt. So ascending loop of Henle is solute permeable. Solute permeable, but most water impermeable. Most water impermeable structure. I hope it's clear. So it is the most water impermeable structure we will have. Is it clear? Which one? Yes, the ascending loop of Henle is the most water impermeable structure. MCQ. So what is absorbed here? So obviously solutes are reabsorbed here. And if solutes are reabsorbed here, two changes occur. The urine will become hypotonic because it's taking the salts out, not the water, and medulla will become hypertonic. So that is why it causes, first, it causes make hypotonic urine. How much? 100 to 200 milliosmol per liter. So 100 to 200 milliosmol per liter is the osmolarity. 100 to 200. Okay. In which area? In ascending loop and DCT. Okay. So DCT get what urine? Always hypotonic. Why? Because of ascending loop of Henle absorbing the salts. So it gets always what? Yes, hypotonic urine. Now next to make medulla hypertonic. Why? Due to addition of salts. Due to addition of solutes. Addition of solutes. Okay. Addition of solutes. Okay. Addition of solutes. How much? 1200 milliosmol per liter. So 1200 milliosmol per liter. Okay. Clear? Now what solutes and how? Let's see it in the diagram. Okay. So thin basically will be responsible for adding. Thin will be basically adding what? Sodium chloride. Sodium chloride. Okay. And also we have urea in this area. Urea from CD I'll discuss it later. So urea is also there from the CD, okay, and some urea books say can come from thin ascending loop also, okay. So some urea from thin and most from the collecting ducts. I'll discuss later. And from thick, what happens? Sodium, potassium, 2-chloride, symporter. So ultimately these all solutes are added to the medula, making the medula 1200 milliosmol because of constant addition of urea, chloride, sodium, 2-potassium, all. So what the urine will become? Hypotonic. Let's say it was 1200 here, now it become 800, now it become 400, eventually it become 200 and 100. So what is the osmolality here? Hypotonic. So DCT is hypo, which I discussed already. Why? Because you put all the salts into the medulla. So let me summarize. In this case, what is making the urine concentrated? Descending loop of Henle. What is making the urine hypotonic? Ascending loop of Henle. That's why sometime ascending loop is also called as diluting segment. Diluting segment, okay. Diluting segment, okay. Now let me summarize. You want to save water. To save water, we need to do osmosis, which require high osmolality. Where is that osmolality? Medulla. So what is the cause? High salts in medulla because of ascending loop of Henle, adding them. That cause water to be pulled from the descending loop, and CD I'll discuss later, making urine concentrated. And what maintain the osmolality? Vasa recta by selective reabsorption of water, and that is counter current system for you. So let me now write everything in order. So write counter current system. So we'll discuss the counter current system. Basically concentration of urine and save water. So function is concentration of urine, okay. So the concentration of urine is caused by the counter current system. How? First the range, okay, first is it is counter current multiplier. Counter current multiplier, what does? It create high medullary osmolality. So multiplier create high, how much? 1200. So from 300 it make it 12. So can I say into 4? 12, yes. So that's why name justified. Why is it called as the multiplier? Because it is making the osmolality how much? Yes, 4 times extra. So it's multiplying it. So what is making it high? So call as, yes, multiply. It increase 4 times. So call as multiplier, okay. Who is this? So obviously it is how? By accumulating solutes in medulla. By accumulating solutes in the medulla. Which solutes? Mainly sodium, chloride, potassium and urea. Urea we'll discuss properly later, but right now urea play a key role in making the medulla. So what the urea do? Urea is a metabolic waste, but you reabsorb it. Why? So that it can accumulate in medulla, making the medulla hypertonic. So that's why urea help in counter current system. MCQ. So urea help in counter current system. It can cause very high osmolality, 30-40% of osmolality can be caused by medulla in this case, okay. So we'll do the urea circulation later, but right now urea play a key role, okay. Now who's putting all these solutes into the medulla? Mainly what? Permeable to salts, ascending loop. So it is the ascending loop of Henle, okay. And who's the main? Main is thick ascending loop. So what is the main area? Thick ascending loop is the main area we see or we have in this case. So who's the main? Thick ascending loop of Henle, okay. Now you only have to create the osmolality or maintain it also. We have to maintain. That's why we have to prevent any abnormality in the osmolality. So we need someone to maintain it, and that is number 2, counter current exchanger. It is vasa recta. Vasa recta. What does? It doesn't create, it maintain. It maintain medullary osmolarity by selectively reabsorbing water, and in case requirement be even solutes from medulla. Okay, so therefore it doesn't let any accumulation of water or maybe salts, keeping the osmolarity 1200. So that is why osmolarity is maintained 12. So what create the system by adding the salts? Ascending loop of Henle. And what makes sure not diluted or change? That is vasa recta, by picking all the extra water and sometimes salts out of medulla. So who's the creator? Ascending loop. Ascending create A. And what maintain it as it is? Vasa recta is the maintaining part of the countercurrent system. Okay, so maintain. Okay. Now we see what are the two parts of the ascending loop, thick and thin. Right, please. So ascending loop has two parts, thin and thick. Now remember, in the thin, what happens? There is high osmolarity. Why? Because just receiving the urine from the descending loop. So that's why it doesn't need any pump or any transporter. It can occur very easily. See, the urine is very hyper here. So it can go along gradient also. So that's why this area doesn't need any pump, etc. So that's why simple passive diffusion. So what happens here? Simple passive diffusion of sodium and chloride. Okay, some urea also come and they go to the medulla, also urea. Okay, urea is mainly coming from CD, but some urea can come from the descending loop also, and the thin ascending. So this urea will make the medulla hypertonic. How much? 1200 milliosmoles per liter. So what is adding it? The thin ascending loop of Henle is adding these salts into the medulla along with urea. Now thick. It is already becoming hypo, so it has to use energy. So use active transport. Active transport by sodium, potassium, 2-chloride symport. It's a very big transport. It carries 4 ions. Again, it adds what? 1 sodium, 1 potassium, 2 chloride into medulla, making medulla again what? Hypertonic. So they too make the medulla hypertonic. And such a big transporter, it has almost 12 transmembrane domain. So it has 12 transmembrane domain to transport the 4 ions. So again, all transporters are protein. It's a protein with 12 transmembrane domains to transport the ions. Okay. So the main countercurrent multiplier. Okay. Now some clinical question. If I block it, if you block this by what drugs? Loop diuretics, you will have a problem. The sodium, potassium, they all will be lost because they will not be absorbed, and that causes diuresis. So it causes loss of sodium, water, and all ions and most solutes except maybe uric acid. So all ions in urine. All ions in urine. And that causes what thing? That causes hypo of all. Hyponatremia, hypokalemia, hypocalcemia, chloremia, etc. So what is one thing, one line feature? Loop diuretics cause loss of all ions. Okay, why? All are coupled to sodium transport, and loss of sodium cause loss of all other ions. Okay, and one special thing, because of this now the medulla will not be able to concentrate the loop of Henle won't be able to concentrate the medulla, and hence urine will also not be concentrated. So that's what cause what? It cause also, it abolish corticomedullary osmotic gradient. What is the result? Hence what? Yes. Once what happens? Failure to concentrate urine. Why? Because there is no medulla. It will become almost same as plasma. Why? If you stop this pump, the salts which are added in medulla will stop getting added, and the medulla will start become almost same as cortex, that is 300. So that's why failure to concentrate. And once medulla become 300, you can't even dilute. Why? See, by adding the salts, you make the medulla 1200. If you stop adding the salts, the medulla will become 300, and obviously now you can't make it 200. It will also become 300. So that means you can't dilute also, you can't concentrate. Why? Because when you put salts, you become hypo. But if you can't put the salts, you will not become hypo, and you cannot become concentrate also. Ultimately, you fail to concentrate and dilute the urine. So that is why it causes a failure to concentrate and dilute urine. So what kind of urine is formed? So that is why isotonic urine is formed, just like plasma. So it looks as if someone is losing plasma in urine, called as isotonic, because you can't concentrate and you can't dilute the urine as well. Okay, and I'll discuss free water clearance later. It abolish both in the topic of clearance. Right now it abolish the gradient, and you can't concentrate, you can't dilute. Okay, and special thing, this condition looks very similar to a condition where the transporter is defective. So that is called as Bartter syndrome. Bartter syndrome. There is what? Defect in sodium potassium 2 chloride symport, and that's why it resembles what condition? So it looks like overdose of loop diuretics. Very interesting. So overdose of loop diuretics. So what condition resemble loop diuretics? Bartter syndrome. So loop, Bartter, almost same. It is a disease pathology where there is a defect in the symporter. There's a, yes, we are blocking it by giving drugs. So that's called the case. Okay, fine.